Hi and welcome back to a new video. Today, we are finally starting on the home server build. I have my Lenovo ThinkCentre ready and we are going to be taking this apart. We're going to be adding in another RAM and then we will start on the software side of things. I'm a little bit scared of this. The last time I installed and used Linux was probably when I was 14 or so it's been a while, but I am ready to get back in there and I'm quite excited. Here is our plan. This little ThinkCentre is equipped with Intel Core i3, which is how they were named back then, 7100T, and it has 8 GB RAM, which is not a lot. It also only has a 250 GB SSD, and we are going to be upgrading the RAM, like I mentioned. We will also be adding a DAS or a DAS, depending on how you want to say it, so an external storage system. I will talk about that in just a little bit, but I bought an HDD for that as well, and I will use one of my old ones just for the time being because shit's expensive and I don't want to just buy so much new, so I'm just going to be using it like that for now. I will check both of the HDDs with Smart to make sure that they are actually good and not cursed in some type of way. Sebastian. So I'm going to make sure that I also additionally have the files that I want to upload onto the home server on an additional system, at least for now, while I don't have several storage plates in there yet, just to make sure that my data is double proofed, which currently it is not, it's only on here. So that'll be an improvement anyway. Ideally, I would like to use 2 or 3 big HDDs in there, but it's just too expensive right now and I don't feel like spending it if I don't need it just yet. Additionally to that, that home server is going to be used for my IRL streams because I really dislike needing to turn on my entire PC machinery if I want to stream from outside of my house, which is how that currently works. So I just want the home server running. I also want my home server to manage all of my home automation. So I want to use Home Assistant, I believe it's called, use that with all of my IKEA and Philips Hue devices to just have the entire ecosystem in there. And we will probably also have to do some router magic to make sure all of these devices are in their own network. I just want to be double safe and we don't actually run the risk of anything getting exploited there. And I want to use the home server as a storage system so that I can pull files in there similar to a Google Drive and then pull them back out if I'm not currently using them, as well as an actual file storage system for just making sure all of my footage from filming and all the events is safe. That's a lot of things for a very small little PC with a very small little CPU, but I'm quite excited to see if we're gonna manage to do all this, honestly. Sounds like a lot. I'm not sure all of it is going to be possible. I have asked a couple of people, of course, that know a little bit more than me. We will see. If you have tips for me, write them down below. I always love hearing from you guys. Some of you have really good ideas, and those of you that don't, I still always love hearing from you, so let me know. And with that, let's get started. Okay, don't be confused. I know I look a little different right now. Some time has passed because there was a lot I needed to organize to get it all together. But the first thing I did is obviously open up the ThinkCentre. I checked what was there, realized that I had to do a little bit of adjusting. I added in the RAM and then I added in an SSD I found lying about just as a backup in case the 250 GB that were on there were not enough. I'm not planning to put a lot on those, but just in case I needed a little bit of extra storage, I figured I would just put it in because it was laying around anyway. Then I proceeded to close up the ThinkCentre and I checked the DOS or the DAS and unwrapped it, just made sure everything was working, everything was there. I I obviously already knew that the USB-C to USB-C cable that was in there was not something I could use, so instead I opted to go for USB-C to a USB-A 3.0, which thankfully the Think Center has 2 of those, and I would just hope that that works, and I put it all together for that moment. The next thing I needed to do is, of course, check that there was nothing else on that Think Center that I might have want. So I started Windows, I checked both the SSDs that were in there in the Smart Check just to make sure that they're working correctly, and I prepared a boot stick. Now on my boot stick I still had Windows, so it was a little bit of back and forth. I used Rufus, and I have decided to utilize Proxmox for my home server build. Now I cannot take credit for this decision. I just chose that because somebody recommended it to me for my use case. I basically was like, hey, this is what I want to do. Which Linux should I choose, basically? And he recommended going for Proxmox, and that is exactly what I went for. It was a little bit of an interesting install. I don't know how much you can tell in those files, but I'm constantly filming on the vertical because the only monitor that would work with the Think Center was one of my actual desk monitors. I do have 2 portable screens and I really like using them, but they only have an HDMI mini port, and the only HDMI mini cables I have a regular size HDMI on the other side. So I wasn't able to use that because the Think Center doesn't have an HDMI, it only has DP and whatever the one before HDMI was, the like very old one that you can see on a lot of the older cases still. So yeah, that was a fun little problem. I fixed it by now. I did buy a new cable, and I can use the portable monitor going forward. For the entire setup, I needed to like turn my head to the side and work like this, which is also why the typing was sometimes a little faulty, because yeah, it's kind of hard to read. That's why it was all on the vertical. And then I connected the DAS. I'll be very honest, I didn't find the on button the first time around. It's on the back side, it's very tiny, and I was like, why is this not turning on? But once I actually figured out where the power button was, it was working, it was being detected. And the first thing I decided to do is, of course, run a smart test on my HDDs. Now, I bought one new HDD, a 4 terabyte one, and then I knew I still had one 2 terabyte HDD lying about, but I found another one. So now I have 224 as a setup, which I think is really good because I can just use the 2 2s as backup storage for now to mirror what I want to store. And I just have a lot of video files for obviously YouTube and stuff like that. So that was really nice to find that extra HDD. I still need to check if there's anything on there, but for now I just started the smart check. I started a long one to really make sure, since some of these HDDs have been in use for many years, I just didn't want to have any bad surprises. And I also think it's smart to check a new HDD just to make sure that it's not something that's being sold under wrong implications or that has any errors. So that's why I also checked the 4 terabyte one. This is where I'm going to be ending this video for now, but there is a lot that is still coming on this series because we only just got started. There's a lot of software, there's a lot of network engineering in here that I still need to do, that I still want to do, and it's certainly something I have basically no clue on how to do it. The only time I did it is to set up my IRL, and that was a headache and a half. So I'm very much in a territory that I'm not used to being in, but it's super fun to learn and figure out, and I'm really excited once we can actually get going and get the virtual machines on there to then run Home Assistant, to then run OBS, and actually get it all together to work as one system. I'm really excited for that. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you find this interesting, if you have your own home server, if you agree with my choice of going for Proxmox. And my biggest question is, what should I name my home server? Because I chose Proxmox Local as a name and I got flamed for it, saying that's not a real name and I ought to give it a better name. And I asked my Discord on what they would say, and there were some good recommendations like eBrain or ADHD support and makes Otter Rack in reference to the Otter Raft. But I'm curious what you guys think, if you have any more ideas for me on the naming of my server stack and on the naming of my home server. And I'm really excited for this next part. I promise I won't let you wait much longer. I'm already filming the next part as I am recording this, so it should come much faster than this recent video. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and of course a subscription if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.